Hey there, Stampers. This is Sherry Roth. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Alberta, Canada, and I'm excited to be here to share with you today my new craft space and how I've organized it. I'll give you a little tour. So we're gonna do this a little bit differently. So I've recorded this video as a YouTube premiere, which means that I will be watching it live with you. Okay, so if you're watching it when it first releases, you'll be watching it live, and there will be a chat feature off to the side. So if you have any questions as we progress, if you have any questions about anything, I'm going to be watching it with you and I'll be able to chat with you, let you know, answer those questions. And then if you're watching the replay, if you weren't able to watch it live, then just post it in the comments section below and I'm more than happy to get back to you with answers. All right. So I do want to qualify a few things. First of all, I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. This is my full-time job. So most of what I use is current Stampin' Up! Product. I don't keep a lot of retired product. I don't have a lot of any product that is not Stampin' Up! So my craft space is most, like I would probably say 99% Stampin' Up! Product. Okay. Let's see here. And my business has changed over the years. So I started in a small room when I first started with Stampin' Up! I had a little craft space in our basement. And then that grew where I had part of our living space, our rec area downstairs. And when people came over, I added tables. And then we moved and I had an entire basement. So I had a craft studio. So I would craft down there. I would hold classes. We would do workshops. We would do tons of things down there. It was so fun. And then COVID hit and my business shifted and moved online for the most part. I have gone back to the occasional in-person event, but since last year, actually since June of last year, we moved and we downsized. So I knew that I wouldn't have the space to have an entire studio, and I didn't have the need for it anymore. So initially when we moved into the house, my plan was to set up my craft space in our rec room downstairs. So I would just have kind of like a 200 square foot part of our rec room, and then my family could have the rest. And when they watched sports, which don't interest me at all, I could kind of craft and I could still be with them. So that's what I was looking forward to. But it turns out my family doesn't like to watch TV downstairs. They watch TV upstairs. So I found that I was always downstairs by myself. So then our daughter got married this year and she moved out and my son moved from upstairs to downstairs. So my husband took over his room for his office and I took over his small office. So this bedroom is about 8 feet by 9 feet. So I went from a 600 plus square foot studio a year ago to a 8 foot by 9 foot bedroom. So that's what I've got. Now, just to qualify, I do have some things still downstairs. So I have a 4x4 calyx unit downstairs that holds all my albums, and then just a few things that I don't need to access all the time. And then I have another shelf unit that holds some other things. And I basically just kept the things that I don't need to access all the time. It's more for storage down there. Everything else that I need to access all the time is in this space. I was able to organize it nicely. It's working out really well. I've been working in this space for probably a little bit over a month now, and it's working out beautifully. The lighting is fabulous. I just love it. I love being upstairs. It's really nice. It's working out really well. Okay. So like I said, if you have any questions, just comment in either the chat section if you're watching live or in the comment section below, and I'm happy to answer them. All right, let's go ahead and get started. All right, I'm finally ready to show you my new craft space. Okay, so I'll stand in the middle of the room and do a once around, and then I'll walk you through each section. And then in the closet, I'll share what's in the closet because the closet was my lifesaver. So Okay, let's start with this cabinet here. So this is something that I received from my parents and we had in our master bedroom. And I needed something that was narrow, that didn't take up a lot of space, that could fit in that area there to store some of the things that I couldn't find a home for. So in here, I have punches. So I've got 2 bins of punches and then a few on the side. And these bins I just picked up at HomeSense. They're actually fridge bins, I think, or like fridge organizer bins. And then down here, I've got, this is like kind of videos that need to be filmed, and I've got the kits that are cut. And then down here, look at that adorable pig. I think it was my son made that in elementary school. And then that's just miscellaneous things. So it's perfect to hold kind of just random bits and pieces. And I still have some space on the side. I just need to find some bins that will fit nicely in there so I can use that for storage. And then I've got this really pretty display up here. So I'm using like a little cake plate. And then I've got some of my projects on display. And then up here, I've got a little fall display. And I was gifted those little mini vases by my friend Donna. I like to have this. This was a kit that I got from, oh, I can't remember what it's called, but I did it a few years ago, and I like to have it on there, like in the back, so that people can tell that I'm Canadian. So I leave that up all year. And then here's the rest. I still want to find something long and narrow to put here. I could have put 6 of those little mini clipboards on there, but I really wanted it to not be so symmetrical. So, okay, let's go over the top of my counter. So here is a charging station, and then I've got spools of twine, scraps of ribbon. This is just miscellaneous things. This is a beautiful card that one of my downline made me. Let's see, my Stampin' Up! Speaker. In here, I keep embellishments. So I've got all my embellishments in here in these 2 drawers. I've got some clips in here. I've got some doilies in here. My random ink pads are there. And then of course, all my inks, ink refills, Stampin' Write markers, Stampin' Blends. This was gifted to me by my upline, and just holds all my pens. I've got my blending brushes organized in these little holders that I picked up. Well, one of them I picked up at a quilting show, and then the other one I bought on Amazon. So you can find those on Amazon. Kleenex, and then catalogs and notebooks. And this is the paper trimmer that I use most often. I do have down at the side here, I do have my large Carl cutter for when I prep for classes. Okay, so this is where I do most of my crafting. I did add a little bin here for easy garbage disposal. So I just had my husband put a little hook on there so that I could hang that on there. All right, and then as far as drawers go, what's in the drawers? Okay, so this is just random business supplies. So I've got some gift certificates, Post-it notes, little notepads back there, some clips, jump drives, business cards, that type of thing. Everything has a place. That's one thing that I found moving into a small area, is everything needs to have a home because there's no room to leave things out. So this is just random stuff, my personalized stamps, my tape, my Post-it notes. I really like to save my desktop and save the space on my desktop. So anything that can go in a drawer, I much prefer. In here, this is envelopes. There's extra card bases here, more envelopes, and then packaging. So when I need to mail out kits and stuff, got a roll of paper towel in there. And then this, I call this my junk drawer. It's still pretty organized though. So I always keep 3 different size paper plates in my studio for when I scrapbook and I need a larger circle. So these are always in my studio. And then I've got some mini albums and some notebooks. These are almost done. They have like maybe 1 or 2 layouts that need to be finished in order to be complete. There's a little section of non-Stampin' Up stuff. I keep my zipper pouches for when I travel in there. I've got my Stampin' Spritzers. This is all just random bits and pieces. This is something that my grandpa made. I actually don't have anything in it, but I just love it, so I've kept it. Here's my Stampin' Up planner, and then I've got some random cards that need to be sorted and stamped. Okay, on the side here, this is what I take my photos on. This is when I do classes and need my computer to have some height, so I use those boxes. And then of course for filming videos, I use this. Okay, and then on the other side, I've got ribbon, my palette knives, my washi tape, just random bits and pieces. Random things. Here are my blocks, my embellishments. Here, I always need scraps of white. So I started putting little scraps of white in this bin, which sits it kind of sits above, but it works perfectly. So it doesn't quite fit in the drawer, but the drawer still closes. And I find that has been super helpful, because you'll see my paper is not within arm's reach anymore. Okay, these are all my stamps. I do have some dies in here, but the dies are really just the dies that go with the products from the July to December mini catalog. Otherwise, my dies are stored somewhere else. And then back here, I have 6x6 specialty paper and DSP. So I've outgrown my little tub. Nothing more will fit in this little, it's almost like an iris container, except it's for 6x6. So I need to get another one. So I just keep that on top. I've got a few non-Stampin' Up stamps back there. And then I've got my finger daubers back here. And then down here, I have my embossing powders. I've got cello bags, transparent envelopes. These are just extra goodies, my baby wipes, my printer paper, and then like candy, tea bags, just these little cookies, you know, just different things for treats. Okay, and then we move over, and this is my Butcher Block Island. So some of you might remember this from my previous studio tour. Now normally, and I did start this way, I had it going this way so that I could go back and forth, because that's how I've always used it. However, this room is an 8 foot by 9 foot room. So it is significantly smaller than anywhere else that I have ever worked. So it was just too tight having it behind me. So I moved it under the window, and it's working really, really well. This is where I film my videos. And let me show you what I've got on top. So this is just a card that needs to be mailed. I've got a light. This is a little bin that holds all my adhesive, scissors, bone folder, paper piercing tool, just anything that I would need to quickly grab when I'm doing a video. And then here, this is just for little random bits and pieces. And then this fabulous organizer that I picked up on Amazon. I think it's called a Boon organizer. And it holds like the colors of twine that I use most often, my punches, extra scissors, my stapler, an extra multi-purpose glue, and then some pens, aqua painters, you know, those kinds of things. And then in this drawer, I have scrap paper. And then down below, I have my trash bin, and then this is all my DSP. Now, just a reminder, I only use pretty much what is current, okay? Now, saying that, right on top here is a little bit that's not current. It's older, and I have it sorted by main catalog. This is foil and vellum, like basically anything that's specialty. This is either retired that I didn't want to get rid of or non-Stampin' Up. And then this is, I think that was Celebration, that I haven't taken out yet. Some of it actually might be mini catalog as well, because I think this is mini catalog. And then that is mini catalog, okay? And then in here, I needed some way to keep my classes organized. So I had this bin, so I repurposed it. I took everything that was in it out. And so now I've got my membership group. The stuff that I need for that is in here. My class to go, my monthly class to go is in this one. All right, and this one is for team projects and gifts and that type of thing. And this one is for my monthly class to go. And then on the top, I have just some random supplies that some supplies that I've ordered for upcoming classes. Okay, and then we're gonna move to the closet. So let me just span the closet. So this is a set of Alex drawers from IKEA. And then I've got my paper storage. And then up above, I've got 2 shelves. So here, my intention initially, I had 2 of these, one stacked on top of the other, downstairs in the basement in my old craft space. And that was the plan, was to put 2 of those stacked on top of each other in the closet. However, then I didn't have enough space for my paper. I could have put it here beside it, but then I would have had to push that down and it would have been snug having the drawers open and close. And I just thought that that wouldn't be as convenient having it down low like that. So I juggled some things around. We got rid of that other Calyx unit and this is working out great. Okay, so let's go through the drawers here first. We'll start at the bottom. This is my junk drawer. So anything that I couldn't find a home for goes in here. So I've got some charms, some binder rings, my watercolor pencils, my label maker, extra scissors, just random bits and pieces all organized. In this second drawer, second from the bottom, is all my silhouette stuff. In this drawer is packaging, so any clear packaging for packaging up kits. This is extra page protectors, some photos. I've pre-done some scrapbooking kits and kind of put those together, and this layout needs some photos, so just kind of random scrapbook things in there. This is all extra supplies and prizes and gifts. And then in this top one is kind of my tool drawer. And then on the side, I've got 2 bins. The bottom bin is anything that's fabric related or to do with my sewing machine. And then the top bin is packaging. So all of my different kinds of packaging is in there. And then my holiday album, and then of course paper. And then I've got a 12 by 12 bin here, an extra bin, my mini machine, that's extra cardstock. And then up at the top, this is packaging for kits. That in that basket is my art journal album, extra bins. This holds random things, some business supplies. It's got my shimmery white paper, watercolor paper, and vellum. And then the top has extra bins. I always need extra bins to organize things as I go, so it's important to have extra bins around. And then those bins at the top, one's got Ziploc baggies in it. The other one has adhesives and tools. All right, so that's the closet. It actually stores quite a bit. We'll close that. And then the last area is just this area here. And this is my die cutting station. So I have a Raskog cart from IKEA that I've been using. I love that it's on wheels because if I'm crafting over here, I can wheel it. If I'm crafting over here, I can wheel it around. It just goes wherever I need it to go. So on the top, I've got the board that you can get for it, the cover that you can get for it, and then my Stampin' Cut and Emboss. Underneath, I've got extra blocks, I've got extra adhesive, so I use it for storage for things that I don't need to access all the time. And then in here, the second shelf, I've got my dies, my extra cutting plates, my embossing folders, anything to do with die cutting is in that. And then in the bottom, it's just overflow storage. So I've got my postal scale, I've got some paper pumpkin boxes that have, one has Stampin' Spots, one has my color cast acrylic pieces that I love. These are the 2 albums that I'm working on for this year's family album, and then some bits and pieces that I've saved that need to be documented. So that is my studio tour. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you have any questions at all, feel free to post in the comment section. I'd be happy to answer them. All right, thanks so much for watching.